In her new book, Big Green Purse, Use Your Spending Power to Create a Cleaner, Healthier, and Greener World, author Diane MacEachern joins me now to explain how to go green without being greenwashed. Welcome to On Time.
Thank you for having me.
And I have to say I'm actually proud of myself that I pronounced your name correctly.
You did a great job.
Nice Scottish name.
Very good.
Going green, thinking about the environment is something that's very popular right now. Is this a fad or a trend as we typically have a lot of times in the United States? I know you hope it's not.
Well, I don't think it is. In fact, it's been 40 years in the making, and people have been concerned about what's happening with the planet since the first Earth Day in 1970, all the way back then. And now I think what's exciting is that people realize that they have so many options in the marketplace, and the marketplace is actually where everybody can make a difference.
Yeah. Let's talk about your new book, Big Green Purse. What's this about, Diane?
Big Green Purse shows consumers, and especially women, how to make your money matter. You know, sometimes we feel like, oh, we can't pass a law, and no matter who we vote for, it doesn't make a difference. But every time you go to the checkout counter, the manufacturer of the products you're buying are paying really close attention. And when you favor products and services that benefit the environment, the manufacturer is encouraged to make more of those. And that's a great way to start reducing energy use and helping protect our air and water and getting at that climate change problem that seems so big. But in fact, the way we spend our money can really make a difference.
Why do you target your book towards women? And what about me? I'm a guy.
Anybody who spends money, and it's true, anybody who spends money can really make a difference. But women spend 85 cents of every dollar in the marketplace. And most of us didn't realize that. You know, and before I started doing the research for the book, I didn't realize how much power we have. And we're so used to having manufacturers tell us to buy. When we spend our money, we can tell companies what to make. And we can tell them to make products that use fewer toxic chemicals, that save energy, that don't create air pollution, all those things, just by picking the recycled product or the product made out of organic cotton or that organic gallon of milk.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background? You seem very passionate about this, and I'm wondering where this passion came from.
You know, I grew up in the state of Michigan, surrounded by those beautiful Great Lakes, but we had to deal with a lot of pollution, even at the time when I was growing up. I remember going to a beach one morning for a picnic with my family, and it was closed because it was too polluted. That kind of thing really stays with you. Now I have kids of my own. I'm concerned about what I'm feeding them and what their future is like. And it just seems like it really makes sense to do what I can to protect the planet.
How old are your children, Diane?
17 and 20.
17 and 20. And do you think you've raised them with a green mindset?
Well, they certainly wouldn't want to admit it to me, probably, but they do recycle. They drive a hybrid vehicle, and they're constantly watching the mileage. They're doing a good job.
Let's talk about some examples, and you just, once again, you're segueing into things I want to ask you about. Let's talk about examples of consumer actions that have led to changes in products. Hybrid cars. Hybrid
cars. You know, in 1999, there were no hybrid vehicles sold in the United States. And all the top three American manufacturers said, no, we can't do it. Nobody wants a fuel-efficient vehicle. It's way beyond our reach. Well, what happened? Honda introduced its first hybrid. Toyota introduced the Prius. And those sales...
So you don't buy that? You think that's bunk?
Well,
that people don't want to drive hybrids.
No, I think they do. And in fact, now what's happening is the American manufacturers are racing to catch up because consumer demand is so strong.
Right. Nail polish?
Nail polish contains a lot of nasty chemicals, I'm sorry to say, and most people don't realize it.
I love my wife. It kills me when she puts it on, or if I have to go in a nail salon. Oh my goodness, how do they stand it?
It is very, very difficult.
How dangerous is that?
Well, you know, a lot of these chemicals are neurotoxins or they're reproductive toxins. In fact, there's something called phthalates. Phthalates are considered a reproductive toxin in the state of California, and they've now banned the use of phthalates in those products. The Europeans are way ahead of us with personal care products.
None of that stuff, huh?
But now you can buy nail polish that's phthalate-free, and it's forcing the big companies to remove the phthalate from their own product. They wouldn't do it. You know, we'd have a hard time passing a law to do it, but consumer demand is making it happen.
Tea.
Tea is, next to water, tea is the most popular beverage in the world.
Really?
It is huge. It's very, very popular. And like many other agricultural products, it's usually grown with pesticides. But demand for organic
to protect it
tea,
and help it get to the marketplace, right?
Supposedly, but demand for organic tea has been so strong that the world's largest tea supplier, Unilever, which creates Lipton's, has decided that it is now going to start producing tea with far fewer chemicals.
That's good,
and
isn't
it's fabulous.
Let's talk about some of the things you have.
Okay.
I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'll start with the light. This is a light bulb. This is interesting. It's called the green light. It puts out 60 watts of light output, but it's only using 13 watts.
Right.
But it's the equivalent of a 60 watt output.
Right.
It, I don't know how much does this cost?
That one's probably about $1.99, $2.99. They're very, very cheap at
So
this
it
point.
costs less, lasts longer, 9 years, and puts out more energy.
Right.
Or more light output, I'm sorry, lumens, maybe that's the proper word, but without using that much power. But this isn't made by the big companies I notice on here. This isn't Philips or GE.
No, but Philips and GE are making them. Walmart has its own brand. Target is selling them. You can buy those in any hardware store,
Hold
in
it up
fact.
to the camera.
And the great thing about these light bulbs is that over the life of the bulb, you can say, well, this one says save $56 on energy costs. Because they're so efficient, you're actually using less energy, paying for less energy.
So where do you live, Diane?
I live in Tacoma Park, Maryland.
Okay, so you, of course the rate increases that have been happening, whether it's Pepco or BGE,
Right.
you're familiar with this. So why aren't we hearing more about things like that?
Well, you know, actually, I feel like there is a lot more consumer awareness about it. What's great is that you can buy them anywhere you go.
What's the deal with this now?
Reusable water bottles. You know, there's a lot of talk now about plastic bottles and how much waste they contribute. And it also turns out that the water in bottled water that you buy in the store isn't necessarily any healthier than tap water.
Well, now Baltimore City, at least, I'll talk about that, and I know you live down in the D.C. suburbs, is supposed to have some of the best water in the country.
Right.
I'll tell you what I stopped doing. I stopped going into the store and buying bottles of water.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that the environment was my primary concern, but I just thought it wasn't necessary. We have good water, so I'm using a water bottle that's plastic consistently. Is that better? Am I doing
Yes, it is. And the thing is about bottled water is people will say, boy, I can't afford to buy organic milk or organic produce, and they're buying bottled water $8 to $10 a week.
Right.
Shift that money to something that really makes
Now,
sense.
can I ask you, I'm going to play devil's advocate for 1 second. I'm going to move on.
Okay.
We're concerned about the environment in these bottles. What about all of the soda and beverages our kids have consumed over the decades? And they're putting all this sugar in their bodies, and we're throwing away plastic bottles with that and cans
I
and
agree.
everything.
I
That's
agree.
not good
Although,
either.
in a lot of states now, there's a deposit on the soda bottle, so at least you can get those bottles back into the
Okay.
waste stream, and they're recycled into something new.
Okay, all
in
right.
fact, I just put some new carpeting in my bedroom, and it's made of 100% recycled soda bottles.
Really?
Yes.
Where'd you find that?
Have you ever heard of Empire? You call Empire on the phone and order your carpet?
Yeah, Empire Carpets?
Yes.
Yeah, we just gave a plug for them. I'm sure Empire is happy. I didn't know about that. We
Yeah.
just put new carpet in the house. That's not what we did. Now I feel bad. I feel
Well,
like I'm hurting the environment, Diane.
next time.
Okay, next time. This is interesting. This is incredible. I want to hold this up to the camera because this is really neat. This is a bamboo dish towel.
Yep.
What's so special about this?
It's not cotton, for one thing. You know,
cotton bad?
Well, 25% of the pesticides applied on agricultural crops in the United States are applied to cotton.
I'm wearing
So-
cotton right now, so what does that mean?
Well, too late now, but
Thanks, Diane!
the great thing
God,
about
you're gonna die.
the great thing about something like bamboo
neat.
is that it doesn't need pesticides, it doesn't need herbicides or fertilizers, because if you've ever come across a stand of bamboo, you know
Right.
it grows like a weed.
This is so. I wish folks could touch this, Diane. Just put your hand on this.
It
And you
is.
know it,
It's
obviously, you brought it
really
on, but I want to
wonderful.
kind
It's
of
very
illustrate the
soft.
point. This is
Yeah.
incredible.
It is.
This
It's really
I have
nice.
to have Ryan come up here and touch it. This is so nice.
And
It
you
really
can
is.
buy socks made from bamboo, clothing made from bamboo, and other kinds of alternative fabrics. Hemp
Right.
is another terrific fabric.
Hemp.
Hemp.
Right. Yeah, Woody Harrelson and some others promote
know
hemp
what?
because that's what marijuana
You can
comes
drive
from.
a truck over hemp, and it does not destruct. It's a fabulous fabric.
Now, can I ask you, well, we're running out of time. You know what? I'm going to have to close it up. This is the toothbrush, everybody, real quick. This is from recycled plastic.
Made from recycled plastic.
Diane MacEachern, thank you.
My pleasure.
For more information, so we, including myself, so we can learn more about this, because it's incredibly important. Do you believe in global warming, by the way?
Do I believe in it? It's happening.
You do? It's happening.
Absolutely.
I'm just asking you a million questions. You have to come back on, would you please?
I would be happy
Honestly,
to.
this is fascinating. For more information, where can people?
BigGreenPurse.com, and of course the book is in every bookstore.
Thank you so much, Diane MacEachern. Thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you.
on today. You can pick up her book at your favorite bookstore, or again, as Diane mentioned, at her website, BigGreenPurse.com.